Okay, so returning to this colored file within Illustrator, how do I finish it off and turn it in and make it print ready? So the one thing I didn't do here, I made duplicates to all of my base. I made a duplicate of my base cutout, and then I played around with adding different versions of them, right? I even duplicated the flower twice. So in two different places. So I have both a blue kind of lightened version and then a green version. And I could play with scaling that green version. As well, and I kind of like that. And especially like what's going on inside. So it really is like cutting paper and seeing all of the different effects, but it only works when you have a clean shape to begin with. Okay, so let's say that I'm happy with this. This is finished. What do I do now? First, I make sure I save it as an AI file for myself. Save everything to the desktop just makes it easier until you're organized and you can find everything. But then in order to bring it into Photoshop to make it print ready, I have to say File, Save As. What kind of file type? EPS. Yep, so the two vector file types we'll use. AI is for working within Illustrator. EPS is for transporting a vector file. But an EPS can't go online because it's not rasterized. So now I can minimize Illustrator. And I can open up a new file in Photoshop. And I'll call this one. I have a lot of files now because I've colored them multiple ways. Carl Assignment 6. I'll call it full color because I colored it in Illustrator before I'm bringing it in. And I want it to be print ready. And we're printing these at 8 by 10 inches. So I put that in, make sure it's inches. At what resolution? What's our lab standard? 350, which is 50 pixels per inch more than professional standard. Okay, and it gives me just a nice white rectangle, 8 by 10 inches by 350. That allows me to take, that looks nice from a distance, my EPS and drag and drop it in. There it is. I can place it to where I think it would look good. Maybe move it over a little bit. Pretend this is my mat, this is my paper. So this is the first file we're really making print ready because we've sized it exactly to the way we want to print it. And we've ensured it has the right resolution. Now, I can, if I want, additionally add some layer styles to it. In fact, if I want to be extra fancy, I can move, check this out, I can move all of these effects, drag and drop them into this file, right? So I copied this whole flower on, right? It's still a smart layer. I can use that whole file as a little drop shadow if I want, but that's not why I did it. By having that, let me try to expand my layers here so you can see. Okay, by doing that, I can take all of those effects and just drag and drop them down onto this. And then I can just turn them on and off. I obviously don't need the color overlay or the gradient overlay anymore because I've got my own colors. And I could play with the opacity of the satin. I don't think I need it as much. I can see if the texture helps. Definitely helps the chevron logo. And by the way, you can adjust all the texture options, like the depth of it, the scale of it. I like to keep it pretty subtle, but still visible. And I don't know if I like the stroke on the black and white or on the colored one. I think I like it better without. I think I'm going to lessen the drop shadow a little bit. So it's up to you. It's like whatever you think will look best printed. I'm going to make that drop shadow really subtle. And the problem is the drop shadow is affecting the inside as well, because that is a cutout, right? It's not a solid shape. So if I don't want that, I don't want to use drop shadow. Instead, I can use maybe another effect. Or let's just make drop shadow a lot closer. Not so spread out. Because I want that white circle in there. Yeah, that's nice. Okay, so now I'm going to need to save this Photoshop file, right? Save it as a PSD file for myself. It's my color one. And then I'm going to turn off the background and save it as a PNG. By saving it as a PNG, now I can upload it to PhotoBucket. So there's 3 things I'm uploading to PhotoBucket. I'm uploading, where is it? Here it is. My sketch, and I have 2 sketches, but I'm going to do the one that I've worked up the most. My black and white PNG and my color PNG. And when they show up in PhotoBucket, they shouldn't have a white background. If you do have a white background, please re-upload them. Because that's the only way I can tell for sure that everything you did was a clean vector. And it's okay if it has things that are really messed up. That's true of our projects. We're just getting exposed to new tools. You have to be willing to experiment and fail, and then that's how we learn. You guys are doing a great job. This will be a good show. And we have until April to fix them before they get, we can reprint them for the show should we need to. Okay, so our vector logo assignment, I'm going to go right into my instructor demonstrations. Sometimes I'm more ambitious than other times. Logo designs and vectors are annoying, but I'm going to take all 3 of those, drag and drop them in, and then we label them the same way we always have. By starting with your sketch, and saying SP17, Carl 1. Then this is my simple black and white cutout, SP17, Carl 2. Then I might actually upload my fancier black and white cutout. I thought that might work, but it didn't. So I'll do that quickly, and then that will be my 3rd, and then so I'm actually going to upload a simple color and then fancy color for each one. Just because once you have a clean cutout vector, it is incredibly versatile, and you can do a lot with it. So this will be number 3. You see how the gray is showing through? And then this is my simple, for lack of a better term, color. And actually, I like this one quite a bit. That might be the one I would print. So that's number 4. And then I'm going to upload one more, which was just the Photoshop color, not using Illustrator to color at all. And this was a little gaudy. But it shows you how easy it is to add color to something if it's a clean vector shape. Because we don't have any kind of random stray pixels anymore. Everything's smooth, everything's completely controlled, or at least controllable through being a vector in Illustrator. Yeah, this one's kind of so ugly, I don't even know if it's worth posting. But it is one of the things I did. All right, so those are due beginning of next class. We'll do our critique on them. But we also need to pick which one to print. So if I'm looking at mine, I think I'm probably not going to print that one because it's just kind of boring for an 8x10 print. I might print that one, kind of like a nice clean sticker design. But this is the one I'm most happy with. So that's the one I would print. And when I print it, I don't go to the PNG file. I go to the PSD file, and that's why I have it here as a full res PSD. It's already 8x10 inches by 350 pixels per inch. How do I make this print ready now? I turn on the background, so I see exactly what it looks like on white, and I say layer flatten image. So I compress all the layers because you don't need layers for printing. It just slows printing down. And I do not save it as a PSD. Instead, I save it as a new file type. This is for our print files. I start it with capital PR, which stands for print ready, and I save it as a TIFF file, T-I-F-F. And as a TIFF, that is a lossless compression format if you use LZW. So we always want to use LZW compression. It makes it take less space, and yet it will never lose quality. And that's why it's what we call an archive format. So that is how you make things print ready. And I actually have directions for that already in the class Dropbox. Just a little Word document or a PDF document that tells you the steps for making it print ready. But the important thing is that it's a TIFF file at full resolution for printing. So you can see it really high resolution there, but flattened and saved with PR at the front of it. And then I can show you how we upload that into Dropbox. Next class for printing. Or if you want to print in lab hours, I can certainly show you once your files are ready. All right, that's all there is to it.